On this F150 with the 3.5 EcoBoost, P0201 points us toward a possible direct fuel injector circuit problem on the targeted injector circuit. The truck may run rough, misfire, idle poorly, or in some cases have a no-start type complaint. Broadly, this kind of code can involve injector wiring, the injector itself, connector condition, or the PCM driver side of the circuit. Work it like an electrical fault first, and do not apply battery voltage across the fuel injector circuits, because that can permanently damage the injector. Start by checking for direct fuel injector circuit codes. If one of those injector circuit faults is present, continue into this injector circuit diagnostic path. If the code is not present but the vehicle has a no start, rough idle, or miss, continue here as well. If that is not the complaint, move back to symptom-based testing instead of forcing this circuit chart onto the vehicle. With the ignition on, go into the PCM data and watch the individual injector fault PIDs along with the overall injector fault mode PID. For this episode, stay focused on the injector circuit that applies to P0201 rather than testing every injector on the engine. If the injector fault PID shows a concern, go straight to the harness wiggle test. If it does not show a concern, move to the power balance test next. Before judging the injector, verify the low-pressure fuel system is operating correctly, then run the power balance test. If that scan tool test is not available on the vehicle, do not stop the diagnosis there. Continue to the next step. If the power balance result is satisfactory, the system is operating correctly at that time, and the next move is symptom-based testing. If the result is not satisfactory, continue into the wiring movement test. Start the engine and let it reach normal operating temperature. Watch the injector fault PIDs while you wiggle, shake, and bend small sections of the harness, working from the suspected injector back toward the PCM. If the injector fault PID reacts during the wiggle test, repair the harness or connection concern as needed, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If the PID does not show a concern, continue with circuit measurements. Turn the ignition off. Disconnect the direct fuel injector connector and disconnect the PCM connector. On the P0201 path, measure the applicable INJ and injectant circuits between the PCM connector and the injector connector for that circuit. The open circuit check must be less than 5 ohms. If it is, continue to the short to ground check. If it is not, repair the open circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. With the ignition off, check the applicable INJ and injectant circuits for a short to ground. The expected result is greater than 10,000 ohms. Use the complete lead hookup for the specific connector pin being tested. If the lead path is not clear, pause and recheck the earlier diagnostic path instead of guessing. If the circuit is greater than 10,000 ohms, continue to the short to voltage check. If it is not, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. Turn the ignition on and check the applicable injector circuits for voltage where there should not be any. Again, use the correct complete lead hookup for the pin being tested, and do not guess if the connection path is unclear. If any voltage is present, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If no voltage is present, move on to checking for short between the two injector control circuits. With the ignition off, measure resistance between the INJ and injectant sides of the applicable injector connector circuit. This check should be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it passes, go to the injector resistance check. If it does not, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. Now measure resistance across the injector itself on the component side of the applicable connector. The injector should measure between 1 ohms 3 ohms. If it is outside that range, install a new fuel injector as directed, reset the keep alive memory, and repeat the self-test. If the injector resistance is in range, use the earlier power balance result to decide the next move. If power balance still points to that injector, install a new fuel injector as necessary. Reset keep alive memory, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. For all other results, continue to the PCM connector check. For the PCM check, disconnect all PCM connectors and inspect closely for pushed-out pins and corrosion. Reconnect the PCM connectors and make sure they seat correctly, then verify whether the concern is still present. If it is still present after that connector inspection and reseat, install a new PCM as directed. If the concern is gone, the system is operating correctly at that time, and the issue may have been caused by a loose or corroded connector. Keep verification separate from the circuit testing. After any wiring repair, injector repair decision, connector correction, or module decision, clear the PCM codes and repeat the self-test where directed. The takeaway is simple. For P0201, prove the circuit first, then prove the injector, and only move to the PCM side after the wiring, connector, and injector checks have been handled in order. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.